So they'll be calling you a radical. Back to the dead Finback juvenile well that washed up. Remember, I was there. I was watching. Now, this report's just coming out that this armchair biologist, which, let's start from the beginning. I'm a butcher, what's a cow? I'm a baker, what's a cake? I'm a marine biologist, what's Fukushima? They all show their colors. So some armchair biologist saying, yeah, I looked at the photographs and I could tell that it looks like a orca killer whale had bitten him and he chased him and he beat him. Fucking total bullshit. That's the bullshit. I was there. I was there the whole time. I was watching this whale for at least 10 days. Now, is it possible that it wasn't the same whale? Possible. Let's start from the beginning. I've been in PB my entire life, off and on, here from Ogden, Utah, 61981. For a whale, of any whale, to be off the coast of Pacific Beach in December is rare as hell. It can happen, but it's really rare. So what I think this biologist sat around and he saw the report that orcas were there, that was reported, 2 days ago? So he's like, oh, this is my chance, the armchair biology. I'm so sick of armchair biology. It make me fucking sick. I'm a butcher, what's a cow? I'm a baker, what's a cake? I'm a marine biologist at Oregon State, at freaking Oregon, at Cal, at San Diego State, at SDSU. What's Fukushima? So, let's start from the beginning. About 10 days before this whale died, I was standing on the end of the Crystal Pier, right there by where it died. And I was talking to a young couple from Wyoming, Casper. And they're saying, we went on a whale watching tour. I said, you went on a whale watching tour in San Diego this time of year? There's really shouldn't be any whales. The grays will start moving here about the 7th, 8th, 9th of January. See, but they're really, it's possible that maybe you saw. No, we saw one whale. Oh, you did? And the whale guide said that it was a juvenile humpback. I says, very interesting. So I started watching, started paying attention. Sure as shit, I spotted a whale out there. Just see this. So I assumed it was the juvenile humpback that they were talking about. For a whale to be there, I'm telling you, I'm the try, Micah. I showed you my work. Show me yours. I've got so much biology field work to blow your fucking mind. I'm not an armchair, golden handcuffs, Oregon State, who is the nuclear energy cartel, freaking owned. They don't own me. I went rogue. So, try my credentials. Try me. Try me my field work. Try it. So, I got all the homeless, because I know them all there in PB. I got them on double watch. Any of you guys spot that, and you play back the tape. I'm doing video after video saying there's a juvenile shouldn't be here. If it is here, it's most likely starving to death because this has been going on since 24. I'm standing right there in PB in 2014, and I remember telling Lisa that I'm like, she's, what are you doing? I says, the whales are the next shoe to drop. We're going to start seeing the whales wash up dead this year. This is in February, I believe, 2014. And we started counting, and then February 2015, that's my group, the post-ignorance part. We're the ones that counted all those dead whales. Now, they kept reporting to me, and we kept track. We came up with 312. Now, NOAA uses our number that we did this freelanced. So, this phenomenon started, again, you broke the chain, Fukushima. Now, so, one of the homeless, I'm right there on Ocean Avenue, right there off Grand, Ocean and Grand. I'm right there. I visit. He says, "Flush up right there." I'm like, "Oh shit!" I got to run back to my room, and oh God. So I hurried and got down there. So I'm there. I'm right there. So this well's washed up, and I saw that it was a juvenile immediately. Now I kept saying juvenile humpback, and that was a Freudian slip. The reason I kept saying juvenile humpback is because that was the one I was watching and perceived that, that was in my head because the juvenile humpbacks are what have been. But, it was a finback. But I knew it was a juvenile. And I knew it was a juvenile finback. I kept Freudian slip saying humpback. I knew it was a juvenile. Play back the tape, Your Honor. I'm right there. I'm right there the whole fucking time. Long before these freaks shot up and started cutting and dicing. And I know the crew that grooms the beach personally because I sleep right there on the beach. And, I've been sleeping there for years. There at PB. That's my place. Right there where it washed up. And so when we first got there, here comes the the lifeguards, and they decide they're going to tow it out. I'm laughing at them. I'm like, really? And I'm the guy that put the stop to them cutting it up. I'm like, no. California law is very clear because I've dealt with this before up at Half Moon Bay. I've dealt with this many times up and down on that coast. And when I remember Half Moon Bay when they cut the one up with the chainsaws, I says, talk about it's against the law. So I'm in their ear, play back the tape. I'm right there. No. So they got a jet ski. I'm laughing at them. Really? You're going to tote this thing out today? It's low tide. Why don't you just wait for high tide to rise? Wait for the tide to rise. It's low tide. You're not toting this out, which is legal to do. Tote it out to sea. So, of course, the rope just snaps, but they're caused it to bleed around the tail because the rope. So they bring in a small boat. They're trying to just snap. Ain't going to work. I'm like, wait till high tide. It's low tide right now. Wait till this afternoon, but no. So they call in the beach groomers. I know the beach groomers all personally, every one of them. Because I sleep on the beach, and they come in every morning, 4:30 in the morning, and groom those beaches with those D9s. So they're trying to push it in there. They pop a tire. I mean, it was like dog and pony show. It was like Laurel and Hardy moves a well. I mean, Three Stooges move a well. I mean, my one buddy who worked right there, Kona's there, he's like, what were they doing? Googling how to get, so here come. And I got a good look at that well all the way around the well. Now, he's saying he zoomed in and he could see some shark bites on, which is possible. Now, I didn't see him. I have pretty good videos. My videos are online right there. I didn't see the bite marks. That doesn't mean they weren't there. Now, stay with me. It gets reported 2 days ago that there's orcas in the area. Now, should orcas be in the area? Hell fucking no. Hell no. Again, it was a whale-watching boat that was reporting there's orcas. I think this biologist probably seen this. So, why are orcas? What's going on with the orcas? Well, orcas feed on Chinook salmon, right? Yeah, that's their mainstay. If you haven't been paying attention in Oregon State, why don't you go on the fucking mouth of the Columbia River and take a fucking look? They post the numbers every day. The Chinook salmon have collapsed. Fucking orcas are leaving even out of the southern pod. Out of the fucking other hemisphere, or the other pod, the further southern, other pod that's way, way out more into the ocean versus the Puget Sound pod, they're out of their domain. They're out of salmon. So they're hunting. This has been going on since about 2014, 13. They're hunting other whales. They're eating dolphins. They're eating sea lions. It's like you in Oregon, you're sitting up there, you call them salmon, and they're legally shooting sea lions for eating salmon. Legally. Me and Tim Martin are the guys that fucking videoed it. Kevin Blanch, the biologist, I showed you my work. My work's online. Let's see, here's armchair fucking biologists. So, either war. Was it being chased by an orca? Very possible, but I've been watching. Now, is it possible the well that I was watching was a different well than this well? Possibly, but I don't doubt. Was there two juvenile wells? I could see that it was a juvenile. I've been watching it right there off the pier at the end of the Crystal Pier right there. I've been watching it. A lot of different people, we were talking. So, a young guy standing there in my videos, and he says, I was out here late last night. That well was right in here. I says, late last night? I saw it right here in this well. Yeah. Was he alive? I think so. Now, wait a minute. Was it alive or was it not? He says, I think it was. So the well just didn't beach itself and die. The wells, what happened, the wells die in the water. Then the tide brings them in. Then it went low tide. That's exactly what happened. Low fucking tide happened that, because remember I was going out to Point Loma to do low tide. I was waiting for my ride. The, Fukushima refugee girl was picking me up. I was waiting for her to come, and we were getting out there at low tide. Low tide was 1 o'clock that day, so the tide was moving out. That well washed up that morning, and then tide slowly moved out and it beached it. It didn't just beach itself and commit suicide on the thing. Was it being chased by orcas? I highly doubt it. But it is possible, because we know just by the report 2 days ago. Now remember, this happened 8 days ago. Now remember, I was watching this well. Either and or scenarios, it's a starvation event. Why? What the fuck are orcas doing in San Diego? Eating dolphins? You know, I videoed the dolphins. There were dolphins there. See that? But we know it's unarguable, factual, that the radical acute collapse of the salmon happened in 2016 on the Chinook. Chinook seed go to 5, which I predicted all this. The whole well phenomenon. So I'm telling you, I've been at PB my entire fucking life. Literally grew up on that ocean right there. For any well, let around juvenile finback to be in PB in December is unheard of. It's rare as fuck. And I mean rare. So this is a juvenile finback, you know, which are big whales. But sore humpbacks, big whales, sore blues. So juvenile on its own, frolicking around in PB, why? Why would a finback be in PB in December? Because he's starving. They're moving out of there. Was he chased there by orcas? Very possible. He's a young juvenile, a 1-year-old, which I knew that. The second I saw him, I knew it was a young 1-year-old juvenile. You know, and inebriated? Oh, fuck yes. I could tell by looking at him. That fucking whale was skinnier than fuck. That whale was starving. Just like the orcas are. Why don't you wake up, you armchair fucks? You're sitting up there at Oregon State. How can you call yourself a marine biologist? How can you at Oregon State, at Oregon, at Cal, at all these fucking places? I'm a butcher, what's a cow? When right at your fucking feet, the greatest ecological collapse in history, well documented, tide pools collapse, the salmon collapse in Oregon. And you're going to come out and say, oh, I looked at the pictures, everything, you know, okay. So, you know, I'm going to tag this armchair marine biologist at the major university. Hold on. Let me get my gold medal, which was made in Oregon. Let me get my gold medal. Made in Oregon by a real biologist. That used to say, dead tide pool champion, world champion Kevin Blanch on the back. Pretty well word out. Made in Oregon by a real biologist. By probably the most famous salmon guide in the history of Oregon, born and raised there, Tim Salmon Martin, who just had open heart surgery, by the way, just like me. That's what he said the other day. He says, I guess to be a real anti-nuclear activist, a real biologist, you know, a real lover of the ocean, I guess we have to have our chest split open, our hearts broken, because he has the same scar as me now. You know, I've been fighting leukemia. You know, it's right there in La Jolla. So the well, because I'm talking to people I know down there every day, and I says, they toted it out to sea finally. I'm like, it'll just wash back in, which it did. So it washed right in right there. You know, I'm doing PB Point, doing those tide pools right there. You know, that well washed right in there, Bird Rock. And so they toted it out 20 miles this time. Okay. You know, let the sharks at. Yes. So either and or scenario. He puts it, zooms in on a picture that was taken. Noah, not my job, Noah told me all those years I've been working the coast. You know how many fucking hours I've had on the fucking ocean? Do you know how many on the coast, working the coast in this dynamic, especially in the last 12 years? You know how many hours I have? Oh, fuck, thousands, literally. I sleep on the beach. I work up and down that whole fucking coast. And I put my evidence online. I don't wait to fucking stick it in the J store. Kevin Blanch, probably the most important marine biologist in history. And I want to say this, all you armchair university golden handcuff, I won't use the F word. I'm a butcher, what's a cow? I'm a baker, what's a cake? Marine biologist. Who's the greatest marine biologist in American history? I want to tell Kevin Blanch, come on. I think it's unarguable. It's Doc Ricketts. I'll be in Monterey Bay on the 10th. You know, getting more work done at low tide. Speaking of wells. Did Doc Ricketts have a marine biology degree from a major university? Did Doc Rickett even go to a university? He went to Chicago for a fucking semester or two. I don't think he studied biology. So, actually, to work for the university circuit, Fukushima has been the litmus test has proved that you're not marine biologists. So what are the so-called biologists at Oregon State, Oregon, San Diego State, Cal, all these coastal universities get funding? Corporate bootlickers. I mean, air your ignorance in public. So you're telling me 3 full core meltdowns. In fact, in Oregon, when Fukushima happened, a bridge from Fukushima, Japan, a bridge cars drive on, landed on Gold Beach, right there in Oregon on day 6. You ever heard of the Japanese current? You ever heard of the California current? By the way, if you like whales and you're getting ready to watch gray whales, the gray whales will start to move through Oregon now, here this week. They'll hit Monterey Point like clockwork on New Year's Day. It was the old marine biologist at the University of UCLA, the old chair, and the old chair at that 2 old married couple, the old chair of biology at Stanford, who flagged me down in 2015. And because when I was walking the entire coast of California dying of cancer, they're like, Kevin, we've been waiting for, we go out in our little rowboats, and guess what? The grays this year are giving birth in Monterey Bay. I'm like, oh, God, no. She says, yeah, just like you said that was going to happen, Blanche. You were right. We've been watching your videos the whole time. My son and son-in-law are both department chairs. My son and daughter, they said, at department chairs at major marine biology department. We're not on speaking terms on Fukushima. They won't even mention it. Steve, the old biologist in the Monterey Aquarium, used to laugh at me all the time on my tide pool, my back. He says, I owe you such an apology. He resigned and moved to South America over Fukushima. Fukushima, the Nile is not a river, buddy. So orcas eating dolphins, orcas eating sea lions, orcas eating juvenile. That's a big whale. Yeah, it's been happening. It's been happening for a while now. Orcas are out of the... Why? Because the orcas are starving to death. The whole ocean is freaking crashed. And my work proves it. We don't do... This isn't an opinion anymore. We have 12 years of data. Plug in you biologists in Oregon State, all you armchair ones, plug in some regressionary models. Use your very own salmon data. Plug it in. Plug it in and run some regressionary models on the salmon, on the tide pools, on the whale collapse. We have the numbers. The numbers are out there. They're there. My work's out there. Plug in the numbers. It's going to show you a major outliner happened in 2011. It's on our website. Well, this isn't gradual. Oh, the billion crabs died from climate change. No. Climate change, yeah, but nuclear meltdowns are hot. This is a starvation. Yes. Now, is it possible that this whale was being chased by orcas? Absolutely, because he's an enumerated whale. Weak enumerated whale, they become prey. I watched this whale. Now, is it possible that there's a different whale that I was watching? Very possible, but I highly doubt it. And I did video of it. It's going to wash up starved. Were they chasing it? Very well could have been, but I didn't see any orcas there, and I was out there on the water, right there on the coast, every day, all day. My place that I stay is literally right there, on the ridge. Ask anybody that's down there. I had my eyes on the water for, all sunlight freaking hours, unless I was eating for, I was there for 3 weeks. I saw one whale. One. Was it this whale? I believe so. I watched it right there in that area. And I was telling people, play back on YouTube. I'm like, look, this whale's going to wash up starved. He shouldn't be here. I presumed it was a juvenile humpback. When I saw it, I knew it was a fin. I knew it was a juvenile. I kept calling it a juvenile humpback just because I was Freudian slipping because of, I was sure that it was. I've been watching for 10 days and calling it that. Same whale? Yeah, of course I'm not 100% positive on this. It's possible it's a different whale, but I'm pretty sure it's the same whale that I was watching. They don't just get chased and just run to the beach and beach themselves, oh, I'm dead. Really? I don't think so. Is it possible they've been chasing it, inebriated, and they die in the ocean? And then the tide washes it in. There it was. I was there the whole time. I mean, I got good videos all the way around it. Now, I couldn't see the bite marks on it, and I was very close to that well, all the way around that well. Now, that doesn't mean they weren't there, some of those markings. Is it possible that it was being attacked? The blood that's coming off the tails when they tied the rope around, tried to tow it out, and I have video of that. Them. The blood, they tried tying it at the front and the back, was the rope burns. When the ropes kept trying to drag it and snap it. And then, of course, they were hitting it with the D9, but they got the photographs and the autopsy before they got the D9 on it. I was there. So, are those marks from he's showing in the picture, from bites from orcas? Possibly. But is that what killed it? No, starvation killed it. What's killing the orcas? Starvation. You're in fucking hell. You don't finish the story. They broke the chain. What crashed the tide pools? What crashed the sand? Run some aggression. My hypothesis, these are full-blown out nuclear meltdowns, is going to break the chain, is not hypothesis anymore. We have 12 years of fucking data. Tide pools, that's irony that it washed up. When you're watching pictures, I'm at Point Loma doing the fucking historic tide pool, and you look at my videos at Point Loma. It's low tide right there that fucking day, that very day. I'm right there the whole time. It's a starvation chain reaction event. Why are orcas chasing dolphins in Pacific Beach, California in December? Unheard of. They're fucking starving to death. Hello. You broke. So we have regressionary models. I says the Chinook won't crash until 2016. The Steelhead salmon will crash in 2011, 2012 after Fukushima, which they did, 1, 2. But we have the data. I says they will crash in 5 years in 2016. Everybody's, record returns. Did they? Did they? Tide pools crashed in 2012. Oh, just wasting. Oh, really? Okay. What did that 1-year-old juvenile, 52-foot long Finback whale say to the starfish at Point Loma? The Upper California purple urchin that used to be at Point Loma. The sea anemones at Point Loma. At PB Point. At Bird Rock. On the bottom of the Crystal Pier where he washed up. Fukushima killed my food. What did the whale reply? We too, from the sea. They're photoplankton feeders. The only whales that feed on meat, other animals, are orcas, and they're out of their domain. They're all over. So, I was there. You know, I've been at this a long, long fucking time. I've been right there my whole fucking life. For a whale, any fucking whale, let alone a fucking juvenile finback, to be off the coast of Pacific Beach, California in December is unheard of. Orcas in there right now in San Diego. Pretty fucking rare. The ocean's out of whack. Oh, it's a starvation event. Were those bite marks on it? Possibly. I didn't see them. And the bite marks aren't big gouges. It's not killed that well. He didn't being afraid, and sure he was afraid if they were chasing, but they don't just fucking, while they're swimming, just afraid, beach them well and kill themselves. No, that isn't. He died in the ocean, and then he washed up as the tide was moving out. That happened at low tide. Stay tuned to Kevin Blanch. Probably the most historic. I mean, I showed you all my field work. All you armchair biologists, show me yours. Stay tuned.